What's up, miscreants? We are the ALS again. I thought I was gonna do something for Frieren, so here we are. Here's Frieren. Yup, in all of her glory. So I managed to get Avatar Glories, which I'm really happy about. She is super expensive. Before I even talk about anything else, she is so expensive. She's 2 million to max or something like that. Stupid expensive. Not a huge fan. So then later ability is this. Yeah. Every magic subtype gives her 5% more range and 2.5% more damage. So, I mean, if you're running the classic 2 farms, you can get... I'm pretty sure it doesn't count her. Yeah. So you can get about, like, 7.5% more damage and, like, 15% more range, which isn't bad. She has good range, so it's not a huge deal. We'll start here. So, technically, Mage's Staff is a little weird. It starts out with the basic spells, and then if you use every single one of the basic spells twice, you get the advanced spells, which I just went ahead and did. So when it's time to actually look at the basic spells, which is just worse versions of the advanced spells in every way, I guess I'll just sell the unit and place them back, but for my own sanity, instead of having to wait like 4 minutes, which doesn't sound that long, but trust me, it's annoying. We're just gonna start with the advanced and work our way down. So immediately, a lot going on. No DOT or special abilities, which I thought was very interesting and a bold move of them because other than, I guess, actually no, I just can't think of any Godly that doesn't have something here. I guess you could argue for Gilgamesh, but okay, I guess Sung Jin-woo does now, but he had Mutilate, so it doesn't really count. And he has his summons. I don't know, it's weird. So we're actually gonna skip the abilities for now. We're going to skip the abilities for now and just move down here. So, she gives a 15% damage buff and a 17.5% range buff to everyone in her range. Except for nature units. They get 25% damage and I think like 27.5% range, which is nice. So it's in a little aura, this little green you can see. Going around. It's nice. It's a nice little buff that you can get going. Oh my god, please stop, game. The Slayer, 50% more damage against bosses. Every 5th attack. Why is that highlighted like that? Petrifies if it is broken within 10 seconds. Slows the boss for a little while. And it gives Frieren a 0.1% chance to just kill them when the slow ends, which is interesting. Very interesting. When the boss enters range initially, it reduces the cooldown of spells and applies a random effect to them. Forgot to mention, whenever an enemy enters the flower field, I'm not sure if it's from the Slayer or no, it's from this. It's the same range as the field, so you can just look at that. It's 40% of the range, which is the same amount as the field. It rewinds the enemies back 10 seconds, and then after they've been rewinded, it applies Petrify, which is really good for bosses, because that's a way you can break Petrify, like, really easily. If the enemy re-enters range again, but this time closer, within half of that, there's a chance they get extinguished, or if they're a mini-boss, they also have the extinguish potential chance thing, except Frieren just does even more damage to them. I think it's another 50%, so just really good. So only 3 passives, which, I mean, is a lot, to be fair. That's a lot. There's a lot going on there. Very strong unit in that regard. Definitely a boss killer, if this wasn't evidence enough for something like that. So we'll move on to the Mage's Staff advanced spells. Yay! Fire spell permanently adds damage to all fire DOTs, which is 5% more damage, but still, it's better than nothing. And also applies 200% damage and Scorched and Blazed off of that multiplier, which is really nice. Really strong. Very powerful. Super busted. You're gonna spam it, because you can. You can spam all of these really easily. Advanced Water Spell, 100% of her damage, which is terrible. I mean, I say that. It's still 2 billion, and it's fully away, so whatever. Soaked and Slow. For every enemy in range upon use of the spell, increase the damage dealt by 25%. So you can have Frieren do a ton of damage through this spell if there's a lot of enemies. Which, I mean, I really do only use these spells on bosses or if the enemies are really that difficult, so I don't know. This doesn't seem like a huge thing. Advanced Nature Spell. Poison and Conquered off of a 200% damage multiplier. No other special effects because that's just already good enough. Poison is super strong. And Conquered is also fairly good. It's fine. It's nothing crazy. Advanced Dark Spell. 300% damage and Spared Fear. I think it's better Fear. It's not stated though, so it's hard to tell. For each consecutive hit, enemies take 5% more DOT damage. That's nice, I guess. It adds up in the end. So I guess there's that. Advanced Light Spell. Bolt and Electrified off of 200% damage multiplier. That's insane. It would have been better if it was Bolt and Plasma, but whatever. Apply a second instance of Bolt in full AoE after 2 seconds. So it just applies Bolt again afterwards. Or I guess in 2 seconds after you cast the spell. So that's really strong in itself. Black Hole. It is a Black Hole. 7.5 trillion damage, which is a fairly standard number, I think, for a lot of nukes for super busted units like this. Time stop for 30 seconds, and once it ends, they will be rewinded for 20 seconds and applies Extinguish for 30 seconds. Extinguish is kind of complicated if you don't know. It basically just turns off their elemental resistances entirely, and gives an extra 30% to all. It's weird. It's confusing, but I think it's pretty good. Ancient Golem is very interesting. If it's used before wave 50, the Golem health is just the current damage times the total kills, which for every 2 kills times yep. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, then after wave 50, the Golem HP current damage times total kills times wave pass times 500. Oh, my bad, I misread the total kills one. Whatever, it's fine. So, I mean, I have an Ancient Golem out, but at the same time, I think I could... Never mind. Okay, I was going to show you, but this is one I summoned at wave 56, so I guess keep that in mind. That's insane. Mastered Zoltrak, 0.5 times half of her damage. Just half her damage. Times the current number of enemies in range, which is fine. It doesn't state there's a limit for that, though. So I guess if you have the max number of enemies, which is something like, I don't know, like 170 or some nonsense like that. I don't remember exactly what it is. It ranges. But if you're in an infinite, I think it's like 170, 190 or something like that. You can get a lot of damage from this. I don't like it because, again, I usually save my abilities for bosses just because I don't like wasting them. Except for Mage's Staff, because they have like 0 cooldown, which is, it's insane. But I don't know, I don't like using this. And it also applies Electrified off that modifier. If a boss is in range. If a boss is in range, it does multiple Electrified off of whatever multiplier you end up getting. And an additional 1 times damage per boss in range. Up to 5 times. I don't know what situation you're in where you have 5 bosses on the map, but good luck, I guess. So now we're going to look at the basic spells. The basic spells are all pretty bad, but they'll go fast, trust me. Trust me, they'll go fast. So we'll just do that. 100% damage and apply Burn. 100% damage and apply Soaked. 100% damage apply Wind Shear and Bleed. I like Wind Shear a fair amount. It's nice. 100% damage apply Fear. And 50% damage, Bolt and Electrified. They're all pretty bad, but you can use them immediately. You start with the basic Fire spell, then Water, then Nature, then Dark, then Light, I think. Yes, I'm wrong. What? Okay, it's Fire, Water, Nature, Dark, Light. No, I was right the first time. Yeah. Healed unit, I guess. Not a whole lot to say about that. Overall, Frieren is really good, and she is annoying to get since you're not really tiny tasking if you're a big tiny tasker like me. Because you basically, you have to manually do most of it, if not like all of it, except for I guess getting Stark. And I guess you can sit in the Stink Chamber, which, oh my bad, the Time Chamber, to get the stupid first Evo item, but, you know. I don't have the shiny, but there is a shiny that I will never get because I'm too lazy to do all of that. The stage is slightly hard, so there's that. I'm just too much of a bum. Overall, 10 out of 100 out of 10 actually. Best nature unit in the game. It's not close, and it never will be, probably. This unit is stupid strong, and I'm really glad they did Frieren justice, because I like Frieren a lot. I think Frieren is peak. So, yeah, that's it. Bye-byes.
Guli 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 watcha lingangu 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 guli 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 watcha lingangu